Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Here we are looking at Bitcoin versus US dollar on the daily time frame, and we're on the Coinbase chart. And the colors look a little bit funny because I got the Gaussian channel on. Let's turn that off for a second. There we go. So what we're looking at here is the let's go to like an hourly chart for a second so you can see what we're looking at. This channel I hit, or this set of channels I have here, represents the upward consolidation that we are currently traveling in. Now, we have not broken out of this consolidation yet. We have a lower portion here, which is certainly been most of the action right here up to this line here. However, the channel really goes from down here all the way up to this peak right here. So it's the orange channel that I'm looking at, not these smaller yellow channels. And actually, the smaller yellow channel, as you can see here, represents 3/4 of the orange channel pretty accurately right there to that dotted line. So it's the orange channel we're traveling in, and we have not broken out of this consolidation range. Maybe at some point we do, but not yet. It would make sense that we would certainly have a move up like this, consolidate, and then have another breakout move up here. You know, maybe even 115 sounds reasonable. And with options trading, just on IBIT or BlackRock, whatever, that was the I think I don't know a lot about options. I'm not into that, but I think James of Best Answers said, I think it was him, that the one of the targets they have was 115 at the in December. So that certainly makes sense. However, we are not breaking out of this upward consolidation yet. Now, one thing I did want to point out, we're already squeezed together as much as we can because we're on an hourly chart. We go to a daily chart. If we were just to stay within this channel. Now, mind you, I was talking about consolidating in here and then breaking out upwards from this channel. If we were just to stay in this channel by March, mid-March, which is a reasonable time, which is reasonable to think this rally, our bull market would continue through March. And this is the getting into the later half of March right here. The center of that channel is up around $250,000. Now, I think that's certainly possible, but it is a bit on the extreme side. So the point being is that we're going to have pullbacks along the way. We're not just going to keep continuing up here, and we're certainly not going to shoot upwards from here and get way above the channel without having pullbacks along the way. We shot up here. We started going up over here. It's just, we'd be at Kathy Wood's $1 million by March. So keep that in mind. Now, let's go back here. This other channel I have right here, this white channel, is I think I replicated it as best pretty accurately. This is the most important channel in Bitcoin history. And it's the channel from which all parabolic bull rallies start. And you can go back in time here. Now we can't go as far back in time on the Coinbase chart as we could. Yeah, look at this. I didn't even look at this part, but you can see that we wicked right down to it. This shows me that I drew it pretty accurately because I didn't even look at this, but look at how we, when I was drawing it, I didn't take these points into consideration, but we came right down to it. Look at this big long wick and bounced right off of it right there in May of 2022 and fell through it, and then it acted as resistance right here in July 2022. But anyway, let's go back in time. This is moving really slowly. Here we are in October of 2020, before we started our bull rally. And what we did is we consolidated on top of this channel. After COVID here, we consolidated on top of the channel for quite a while. And then, boom, started our parabolic rally. Now, let's just see, this went on from April to October. So a good 6 months there that we consolidated on top of this channel before starting the rally. And of course, you can see we did have interaction with it prior to that too. And then this little inter-cycle rally also started from consolidation within this channel in 2018 and 2019. Very clearly. And then we had a huge breakout from this channel, consolidated a little bit more right above it, and then boom. God, I want to move this. I hate it when it does that. And can we go back further? Oh yeah, I think we can go back to 2015 here. And then, so this is 2017, and didn't have a whole heck of a lot of interaction with this here. You can see we came almost up to it there, but we wicked right up to it here and here, and it acted as resistance. Although not, precisely, but well, yeah, actually pretty well if you zoom in. We tried to hold it as support here, lost it, and then it acted as resistance. And we dumped down. I don't know what was going on there, but something was going on. And then here, this is on a daily time frame. You can see it acted as resistance. We broke through. Struggled with the top of it a little bit here. Came up and back down to retest it. And then off to the races we went. So that was okay, we don't need to do that. Come on, I don't want all that crap on the side. They put too much stuff. They put too much stuff on these phones. Well, yeah, it was off to the races, but yeah, if you zoom out. So this really brings my point home. May of 2017. Looked like we were just going to keep going here. Bull market on, yeah. Of course, this was the summer. So we rallied until June, then saw a little bit of a pullback here. Now, these upward sloping channels are our bull rally channels. And you can see that we pretty accurately interact with them. and you can copy and paste these into future or past rallies, and it's all the same. Pretty much follow these channels very accurately. And so, bull market on, right? Yeah. No, we came back. We had a big, huge pullback here. And what was that? And so this is from June, mid-June, to mid-July. Oh, that was just a month. In 1 month, we had a 40% pullback. I sure as hell hope we don't see anything like that this cycle. That would be crazy. That would wreck a lot of people. But could happen. I don't think so. I think maybe we could see a 30% pullback. But we had a couple of these back here in 2017. So certainly possible. What were these other ones? From there to there. Wow. That's another 40% pullback. I didn't realize those are so much. That one's 30%. Holy moly. Well, let's hope we don't get stuff like that. What happened in here? And see, these are much less. What is this right here? Just over 20% pullback there. We know this isn't much here. That's about 12. You know what? It depends. Let me do the first one. That's a 16, just over 16% pullback. %30 pullback there. So yeah, I think we could see 30% pullbacks. Now this is later on in the rally. That was in, well, it's okay. So this is in January. And this is what I'm thinking for this cycle. I think that people are going to take profits in January because it's a new tax year. And so, and that's one thing I'm doing. That's why I'm not selling anything right now, or buying. Well, okay, so I did want to bring up that Coinbase, if you don't know this already, is going to be delisting WBTC as of December 19th. And so if you have, if you're using WBTC, you're going to have to find another path to sell it or swap it or whatever. Now, I did check with Kraken, but you should check yourself. And because they gave me a very generic answer that they gave the page, they sent me a link to the page where they have post their coins that they intend on delisting. They didn't give me a specific answer as to whether or not they had intentions of delisting WBTC in the future. Just that they analyze situations as things play out, and if they were to make any moves, it would be on that page. So that didn't really answer my question. So just keep that in mind going forward. And because I do hold some of that, and I don't have any intention of selling it until January, until the new year starts, because I don't want to have to deal with taxes in the middle of a bull run, and having money set aside that should be working for me in order to pay taxes. And because who knows what this bull market is going to look like. I just don't want to be stuck in a position where I all of a sudden have to come up with a bunch of money to pay my taxes and force me to make moves that I don't want to make. So, not selling anything of significance till January, but I think a lot of people are going to sell off here in January. And this sell off here went throughout the whole month, actually. It was about a 30% move. So that's another thing. Right now, I'm not chasing this rally right now. I think that's stupid. The time to take positions has already come and gone, and I do think that we will have a pullback into the CPI data release and the FOMC meeting in December. I don't know how much, but that would be a good area for a pullback and to take some positions. But then, that's not going to last. We're not going to see much more upside from there, because then in January I expect we'll see another pullback. So it could get pretty crazy with the volatility here. Or we could just do a lot of more sideways consolidation, pretty much. Maybe some, 10 to 20% swings throughout, from here through January. And then the rest of the rally starts. Anyway, so we were looking at this channel. Yeah, we saw that. And do we have any other evidence back here? Yeah, Coinbase chart ends right here. But that's interesting that we also came right up here to the... Anyway. So, okay, put the green line away. Let's go back to the modern day here. So, you know what? It's really interesting. Well, this is back in 2022, right? Yeah. Well, it's just interesting how we interact with this channel. And then see here in March of 2024. It was very reasonable to think that we were starting, especially, since we already had the halving event, and we were consolidating within this channel. It was certainly reasonable to think that after a little bit of a consolidation in this channel, that we were going to begin our parabolic rally through until, maybe until the end of the year. But that did not happen. So we consolidated sideways further. And now here we are, traveling upwards in this channel. We're on a daily... Oh, we're not quite in the channel. Well, yeah, we are. Yeah, we are, actually. Since here, September 6th, we've been traveling upwards in this group of channels. You can see very clearly. And here we are today, right? Smack dab in the center. And we are also within the most important channel in Bitcoin history. And we have not broken out of this yet. I don't believe our real bull rally will start until we break out of this channel. And that is sitting right now, currently. We go straight up from here. It's currently sitting at just above $100,000. 101. And that increases. By Sunday, that'll be, 101. And a little bit more. And by Turkey Day, it'll be just over 102. So, that's the range right there to keep in mind, or that's the numbers to keep in mind. As long as we're within this channel, I don't believe we'll be starting any bull rallies. Now, what I think, let's turn our Gaussian channel back on. This last video we were talking about the 4-hour Gaussian channel. Now we are on daily right now. Oh, while we're here, let me adjust this. You always have to adjust these because it's a living curve that's always moving. So our daily Gaussian channel is way down here, and that's at $70,000. So it's safe to say, well, and it's moving upwards, however, but it's safe to say that we don't go below that. And if we did, that would be pretty bad. And our other moving averages are down here, our Gaussian channels are down here as well. Let's go to the 5-day. Let's just make sure I got these all right. It's going to take a second. There it goes. Yeah, that's pretty good. So the orange one's the top of the 5-day. And that's at 66. 67. And then the weekly here is, and those are pretty accurate, weekly's at 60. 67 is interesting because that is that was the election. That was the price on election day. We're on a weekly here. Yeah, around 67. So safe to say we don't go below that. Safe to say we don't come back into the weekly Gaussian channel, not into the 5-day. Could be a chance we come back into the daily at some point. Just not take that off the table yet. But it's the 4-hour that we want to look at. And that is currently sitting at 91,100. Now what's interesting is that it's creeping up into the lower portion of our set of parallel channels that we're traveling upwards in. So when you look at it like this, well, can't see a whole heck of a lot. But anyway, we came down into it here, and then above it there. We've had a lot of interactions with this 4-hour Gaussian channel as we've been traveling upwards here. We managed to escape out of it here and rally upwards, but now we're consolidating. And although we are consolidating upwards, we are still very, very close to this channel. Not only that, but the top of it is right here at our support level. Our very, very recent support level right here. It's been acting as support, this trend line. since the 11th of November all the way. So for the past couple weeks, this trend line has been acting as support, and that's right there. Now this will be moving up into this channel. So if we do come back down here and fall into this, we could come all the way down to the bottom of the set of channels very easily. And we could even come below it, as we did back here. And could we lose this support? Maybe. But I think it's very reasonable to think that at some point here, maybe even soon, I don't know, who knows? It's very reasonable to think that we could, maybe even touch the top here, come back down, have a big dump. Maybe we come all the way up here. What is this? This is on Sunday. I wouldn't put anything out of the question. We could even see some sort of a big collapse down to 87 from 101. So what is that? It's like a 20%? I get confused when you go up and down if it's the same percentage. So if we went from there down to there. Oh, yes. No, see, that's only, going. Oh. Never. You know what? In my head, I was thinking 80, from 100 to 80. Okay. Yeah, from 100 to 80 is 20%. But from 80 to 100 is 25%. That's where I get confused. But back down here, yeah, that's a 13, 14% pullback. That is certainly not out of the question. It's not even unreasonable to think any of that, especially just looking at the drawdowns we've had in the past. And the reason for these is that a lot of people get a little bit greedy and over leveraged, and so I don't know what's going to happen. Hell, we could come up here. The thing is, let's look at the volume too. So we've had this increasing volume, and it really crescendoed after the election. And now we're starting to come back down. Are we still well above, where we were way back here? Yeah. But I'm just wondering, just keep an eye on this. And if the volume keeps coming down, then, you got to think that you certainly have to consider that some sort of a pullback is more reasonable. And now, as I even look at this chart, it is certainly reasonable, as we have this group right here, that we would come back down and test this line here at some point, the bottom of this consolidation range. So I think we could consolidate, and I think it would be very healthy for us to consolidate, at least within this most important channel in Bitcoin history for a while. Maybe we start seeing a rally here towards the end of December. Maybe we do come up. Yeah. Maybe after the FOMC meeting on the 18th, that we do break out right here, start coming up this channel, get a nice rally going, and then come back down in January. So what would we get up to here? Yeah, that would put us right around 118, 115, like the options traders are thinking, right at the end of the year. That's very interesting. Maybe they're looking at the same channel. And then maybe we see a pullback back down to 108. Nah, maybe we come back down even more. Maybe back down to 100. Yeah, so somewhere in the first couple weeks of January, come back down to around 100. Guess it would have to be earlier. Anyway, we'll think about those things more as we see what price action starts giving us. Oh, that's in February. All right, so those are my thoughts. Could we get up to 100? Maybe a little bit more, maybe. But I think we're running out of steam. I don't think we have the momentum to keep this going right now. I think that we do need to see some sort of a pullback and before heading on. And if not, then we are looking for bigger crashes to come because the market's just going to get way ahead of itself. I think it's very reasonable to at least expect a pullback down here to 87. I'd like to see more. I'd like to see us come down. And okay, so if we did come down to refill that gap, wow, we are getting dangerously close to the daily Gaussian channel, which is this green line. We'd have to come down to about there. Wow, that would be the 3rd of December. Oh, so that is not out of the question. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I hit the wrong daily button. Wow, okay, so that... Wow, how would that be for shaking and baking? You know what, let's... Trying to adjust it, I might be making it worse. I don't think it's going to come up that much. I should have left it where it was. Well, we'll have to adjust this as it because it's changing rapidly right now. But yeah, around the first few days of December, it is right around 77,000, or it should be around there. Um, and that's where our CME futures gap is. So that could get dangerous. Worst case, worst case scenario, we fall into it and fall into, then we'd be falling into the 5 day and the weekly. That would be big trouble. But best worst case scenario, we could come down towards the end of November into December and just touch it and then bounce. It would really have to be before December, I think. Not sure how quickly this is moving upwards. Yeah. End of November, first couple days of December is maybe our last chance to come down and fill that gap without getting into big trouble. Beyond that, I don't think we're going to do it. And if we did, after that point, it would lead to more serious trouble. And then what that would do if we did come down like that, it would cause this curve to flatten out, and then when we would bounce from there, it would give us plenty of leeway to avoid interacting with it in the future. So this is just a lot of stuff to keep in mind. Keep in mind. Of course, this is all negated if we just explode from here. Anything is possible. I don't know what's going to happen. Just, putting various scenarios out there for you to keep in mind as we move forward. So, we'll see you next time.